Welcome to Books Arena, where powerful ideas meet everyday life. In today's video, we explore a question that's both timeless and deeply personal. What's the secret to a long, meaningful, and happy life? For centuries, the people of Okinawa, Japan, especially in the village of Ojimi, have lived longer, healthier, and more joyfully than almost anywhere else in the world. But how? In their book Ikigai, The Japanese Secret to a Long and Happy Life, authors Hector Garcia and Francesc Miralles travel to Okinawa to find out, and what they discover goes far beyond diet or exercise. It's about purpose. It's about balance. It's about finding your Ikigai, your reason for being. And the best part? You don't have to move to Japan or radically change your life to experience it. You just need to understand a few simple truths and start applying them, one small step at a time. In this video, we'll break down the core lessons of Ikigai. What it really means. How to find your own. And how it can help you live not just longer, but better. Ready to begin? Let's dive in. Part 1, What is Ikigai? The philosophy of purpose. Let's begin with a single word that holds centuries of wisdom, Ikigai. In Japanese, Iki means life, and Gai means value or worth. Together, Ikigai translates to a reason for being. It's the thing that gets you out of bed each morning with a sense of purpose, energy, and meaning. But unlike some Western ideas of purpose, Ikigai isn't necessarily a big mission or life-changing dream. It can be small, ordinary, quiet. In fact, in places like Okinawa, people often discover their Ikigai not in what they want to achieve, but in what they already do, whether it's tending a garden, cooking for family, or sharing stories with friends. This book, Ikigai, The Japanese Secret to a Long and Happy Life by Hector Garcia and Francesc Miralles, explores how this ancient idea helps explain why the people of Okinawa live longer, healthier, and happier lives than almost anyone else in the world. It's about more than just living a long time. It's about living well. The 4 pillars of Ikigai. One of the most popular ways to understand Ikigai is through a simple diagram. Imagine 4 overlapping circles. What you love. What you're good at. What the world needs. What you can be paid for. Where all 4 meet, that's your Ikigai. This framework is useful, but it's important to note that many Okinawan elders who live by Ikigai have never seen this diagram. Their understanding of purpose is rooted in daily life, not strategy or structure. Their Ikigai comes from living with attention, doing what matters, and staying connected to others. For example, someone's Ikigai might be running a small cafe where they greet neighbors every morning. For another, it could be fishing, writing poems, or caring for grandchildren. The point is, Ikigai isn't always about achieving something great. It's about feeling that what you do, no matter how simple, matters. What Ikigai is not. Ikigai is often misunderstood in the West. We tend to link purpose to productivity. We ask questions like, how can I monetize this, or how can I turn this into a career? But Ikigai doesn't demand that everything be profitable. In fact, some of the richest sources of Ikigai are things you'll never get paid for, like being a good friend, volunteering, or creating something just because you love doing it. Ikigai is not a race to the top. It's not hustle culture. It's not about sacrificing today for some imagined success tomorrow. It's about being connected to what you do, right now. Lessons from the village of longevity. The authors of Ikigai traveled to Ojimi, a small village in Okinawa known for having one of the highest life expectancies in the world. People here routinely live into their 90s and beyond, not just surviving, but thriving. They move daily, stay socially active, and find joy in simple routines. Many have no plans to retire. Why? Because they love what they do. Their work, their hobbies, their community, these give them a sense of identity and belonging. That's their Ikigai. One woman in her 90s still weaves by hand every morning. A fisherman in his 80s wakes up early, not because he has to, but because he wants to. Another man said his purpose was to grow vegetables and share them. None of these people said their goal was to be wealthy or famous. They simply found meaning in daily actions and kept doing them. Everyone has an Ikigai. The authors emphasize one essential truth: everyone has an Ikigai. But not everyone has found it yet. The problem is, many of us are too busy, distracted, or stressed to notice what truly matters to us. We're so focused on being productive or meeting expectations that we ignore what gives us real joy. Finding your Ikigai doesn't require a major life change. It begins with awareness. Start by paying attention to what energizes you, what makes you feel useful, connected, or peaceful. Often, the clues are already around you. Maybe it's teaching. Maybe it's writing. Maybe it's helping others, solving problems, or creating something beautiful. Maybe it's spending time in nature or building something with your hands. Whatever it is, Ikigai often starts small and grows through consistency. The takeaway: Ikigai isn't about chasing happiness. It's about living with purpose. It's the quiet joy of doing something that matters to you and, in some way, matters to others. In the next part, we'll explore how lifestyle plays into all of this and what the Okinawan way of eating, moving, and connecting can teach us about lasting well-being. But for now, remember this. You don't need to find your Ikigai in a big achievement. You can find it in a simple, intentional life. Let's continue. Part 2, The Secrets of Longevity. In Part 1, we explored the idea of Ikigai, your reason for being. Now, let's go deeper into what Ikigai, the Japanese secret to a long and happy life, reveals about the lifestyle habits that support longevity, especially in the Okinawan village of Ojimi. These aren't miracle cures or strict regimens. The secret to long life, as it turns out, lies in small choices repeated every day with consistency and care. So what do the world's longest living people do differently? Let's break it down. A gentle but active life. One of the first things the authors noticed in Okinawa was how naturally active the elders were. They weren't running marathons or lifting weights. But they were constantly moving. Walking, gardening, kneeling, climbing stairs, stretching, cooking, cleaning, working with their hands. Movement was a part of life, not something separated into a gym schedule. And this kind of low-intensity, sustained activity has massive long-term benefits. In the West, we often think of fitness as high-intensity workouts, but in Ojimi, motion is slow, natural, and frequent. It keeps joints flexible, prevents illness, and boosts mood. One man over 100 years old still rode his bicycle every morning. Others maintained farms, cleaned their homes, or joined group exercises. They don't sit for long, and they rarely retire in the traditional sense. As one elder put it, retiring means to stop being useful, and that's when you begin to decline. The lesson? Keep moving, but don't force it. Make it part of your rhythm, not a chore. Eating light and living long. Another core habit: how and what they eat. The Okinawan diet is largely plant-based, filled with vegetables, tofu, miso, sweet potatoes, and seaweed. Meat is eaten occasionally, fish more often. Portions are small. Food is fresh. But the real secret is in a cultural phrase, harahaki bu. It means eat until you are 80% full. Rather than stuffing themselves, they stop when they're satisfied, not stuffed. This small shift leads to fewer digestive issues, lower risk of chronic illness, and better energy throughout the day. In the West, we tend to eat until the plate is empty. In Okinawa, it's more about honoring the body and giving it just enough. Plus, meals are often enjoyed slowly, with others. Eating becomes social, mindful, and grateful, not rushed or distracted. Connection and community. Another factor behind the Okinawan lifestyle is the strength of their social bonds. People in Ojimi rarely live alone. Families stay close, and friends gather regularly. Elders are respected, not sidelined. Everyone has a role. The authors highlight a tradition called the moa, a small group of friends who meet regularly to talk, laugh, and support each other emotionally and even financially. This kind of connection creates a powerful sense of belonging. It lowers stress. It keeps people mentally engaged. And it's one of the strongest predictors of health and happiness, especially later in life. In contrast, many people in modern societies suffer from chronic loneliness, even when surrounded by others. Okinawan culture reminds us, we're not meant to walk through life alone. Living with purpose and calm. What ties all these habits together is a mindset, a sense of calm, focus, and presence. The elders of Ojimi don't rush. They don't multitask. They do one thing at a time, and they do it with care. Whether cooking a meal or trimming bonsai trees, they approach daily life with intention. This kind of mindfulness doesn't just improve emotional well-being, it keeps the brain sharp, reduces anxiety, and makes daily life feel more meaningful. Combined with their strong sense of Ikigai, this approach helps them wake up with direction, Go through the day with purpose, and sleep with peace. The bigger picture. Longevity, as shown in Ikigai, isn't the result of any single habit. It's not just about food or exercise or stress. It's the combination of how they live, think, move, eat, and connect. There are no shortcuts, but the changes are simple. Eat until you're almost full. Move every day, gently. Connect with others deeply. Take time to do what matters. And most of all, find a reason to get up each morning. It's not magic. It's a life designed for balance. In the next part, we'll explore how you can begin to discover your own Ikigai even if you don't live in Japan, and even if you feel lost right now. Ikigai isn't just a theory. It's something you can live one small step at a time. Let's move forward. Part 3, Discovering Your Ikigai. By now, you understand what Ikigai means and how it shapes the lives of the world's longest living people. But the real question is, how do you find your own Ikigai? It's easy to hear about purpose and passion and feel overwhelmed, especially if you're not sure what excites you or where you're going. But according to Ikigai, the Japanese secret to a long and happy life, discovering your Ikigai is not about making dramatic changes overnight. Instead, it's a process. A quiet one. And it starts by paying attention. Let's explore how to begin. Step 1, look inward before you look outward. In the search for purpose, we often look outward. We ask, what does the world expect from me? What job will earn the most respect? What's the most practical choice? But Ikigai begins by turning inward. Start with simple questions. What do I enjoy doing so much that I lose track of time? What small task gives me a sense of satisfaction or peace? When do I feel most connected to others or to myself? These aren't theoretical questions. They're invitations to observe your daily life. The things you naturally return to. The activities that make you feel alive, even in small ways. It could be writing, teaching, building, solving problems, listening to others, organizing chaos, tending plants. Ikigai often hides in the small and ordinary, not the grand and impressive. Step 2, explore the 4 circles. You may recall the 4-circle diagram often used to describe Ikigai. While it's not part of traditional Japanese culture, it's a useful tool. What you love. What you're good at. What the world needs. What you can be paid for. Where all 4 overlap is considered the sweet spot, your Ikigai. But don't treat this like a quiz you have to complete in one sitting. Instead, use it as a lens to explore your interests over time. Maybe you're good at design and love storytelling. That could evolve into branding or user experience work. Or perhaps you love helping others and are a great listener. Your Ikigai might be in coaching or mental health support. But here's the key, you don't have to figure it out all at once. Your Ikigai will likely evolve as you do. Step 3, follow flow. One powerful clue to finding your Ikigai is noticing when you experience flow. Flow is a concept introduced by psychologist Mihaly Csikszentmihalyi. It describes that feeling of being completely immersed in a task so focused that time disappears. When you're in flow, you're not distracted. You're not bored. You're just doing. Ask yourself, when do I feel most absorbed in what I'm doing? What activities give me both a challenge and a sense of ease? What tasks leave me feeling energized afterward? Flow is often a sign that your skills and interests are aligned. And wherever flow exists, Ikigai is usually close by. Step 4, start small. You don't need to quit your job, move to a new city, or find your true calling in order to live with Ikigai. In fact, many people in Okinawa live modest lives. Their purpose comes from doing simple things with care day after day. So start small. Do more of what brings you joy. Reduce what drains you. If you enjoy cooking, cook more. If you love helping, volunteer. If you miss creating, create again. You can explore your Ikigai in the early mornings, in your lunch breaks, on weekends. Purpose is something you build, not something you stumble upon. And often, the most meaningful paths begin quietly without fanfare or big announcements. Step 5, keep going. Finally, remember this, discovering your Ikigai is not a destination. It's not a title. It's not a finish line. It's a practice. Just like the people of Okinawa don't retire from their passions, your Ikigai is something you continue to nurture. It changes. It deepens. Sometimes it even shifts direction. And that's okay. What matters is staying engaged. Remaining curious. Choosing to live each day with a little more awareness and a little more intention. As the authors remind us, our Ikigai is different for all of us, but one thing we have in common is that we are all searching for meaning. So don't wait for clarity to arrive all at once. Instead, take the next step, however small, and trust that you're already on the path. In part 4, we'll bring it all together. We'll look at how to build a life that sustains your Ikigai mentally, emotionally, and practically. Let's continue. Part 4, Living Your Ikigai Daily. We've talked about what Ikigai is. We've looked at how it shapes the long, healthy lives of people in Okinawa. And we've explored ways to begin discovering it for yourself. Now comes the real challenge. How do you live your Ikigai every day? Not just as an idea or a distant goal, but as something that shapes how you wake up, how you work, how you connect, and how you move through the world. This final part is about sustaining your Ikigai quietly and consistently no matter what life throws your way. Start your day with purpose. One habit the authors observed in people with strong Ikigai is this: they don't rush into the day. They begin with intention. This doesn't mean you need an elaborate morning routine. It means taking a few minutes to center yourself before the world gets loud. Some elders in Okinawa begin their day with light stretching. Others with tea. Some tend to their garden. Some write or pray. The act itself doesn't matter. What matters is that you start the day for yourself, not for your phone, your job, or your inbox. Even something as simple as asking yourself, what small thing today can I do with love or attention, can make a difference. Ikigai lives in the details. Work with joy, not just pressure. In modern life, many people feel overworked, overwhelmed, or disconnected from their jobs. And while not everyone has the freedom to choose exactly how they make a living, the message of Ikigai is this: you can bring purpose into your work even if it's not your dream job. In Okinawa, elders who weave, fish, cook, or farm do so with care and pride. The task itself becomes meaningful, because they bring themselves fully into it. So whether you're working in an office, teaching, managing people, or studying, ask yourself, how can I bring more presence to what I do? What part of this job aligns with something I care about? Is there one small way I can make this more human, more joyful? Ikigai is not only about what you do but how you do it. Nurture relationships that matter. A central theme of this book is that connection keeps us alive not just physically, but emotionally and spiritually. In Ojimi, elders are surrounded by people they've known for decades. They check in on each other, share meals, laugh together, and lean on each other in hard times. It's not about having hundreds of friends. It's about having a few people you truly trust. People you can be yourself around. In your own life, think about who makes you feel more like yourself. Who challenges you to grow? Who listens? Who makes time? Prioritize those people. Show up for them. And let them show up for you. Because when you share your Ikigai, your interests, your stories, your care, it expands. It becomes a gift. Protect your mental and emotional energy. Another overlooked part of Ikigai is emotional health. Many people today live in a constant state of low-grade anxiety, rushing, comparing, second-guessing. The Okinawan elders interviewed in the book, by contrast, had a sense of peace. They weren't obsessed with achievements or productivity. They didn't define themselves by status. They moved at their own pace. They accepted what came. They stayed grounded in the present. This doesn't mean they didn't feel pain or loss. But they had practices that helped them cope: connection, routine, gratitude, and simplicity. So ask yourself, what am I giving too much of my energy to? Where can I simplify? How can I reconnect with what truly matters? Sometimes living your Ikigai means letting go of old expectations, distractions, or constant noise. Stay curious and keep growing. Finally, Ikigai teaches that growth doesn't end when you find your purpose. In fact, real purpose requires curiosity. The elders of Ojimi are still learning. Still reading. Still crafting. Still exploring new ideas and conversations. Some take up new hobbies in their 80s or 90s. They're proof that staying mentally active, staying engaged keeps you not just alive, but awake. So keep learning. Keep wondering. Keep asking what brings you joy. Your Ikigai isn't fixed. It's something you carry with you and shape through the seasons of your life. Final thoughts. In the end, Ikigai isn't about a grand life plan. It's about how you live the next hour. It's in how you greet your day, how you treat others, how you do your work, how you care for your mind and body, and how you keep choosing day by day to live with meaning, even in the smallest things. You don't have to change your life to start living with Ikigai. You just have to begin where you are. We've reached the end of our journey through Ikigai, The Japanese Secret to a Long and Happy Life by Hector Garcia and Francesc Miralles. Let's take a moment to reflect. This wasn't just a book about purpose. It was a quiet invitation to live more intentionally. To slow down. To reconnect with your work, your passions, your community, your body, and most of all, yourself. The people of Okinawa, especially in the village of Ojimi, have shown us that a meaningful life isn't built on wealth, fame, or constant productivity. It's built on a sense of purpose that comes from within. Deep relationships and daily connection. Gentle movement and mindful eating. Curiosity that never fades. A mindset rooted in gratitude, not stress. Their secret isn't really a secret, it's a way of life. And you don't need to move across the world or change everything overnight to start living it. You can begin with one question. What gives my life meaning today? That question is your compass. And your answers, however simple, are where your Ikigai lives. Whether you're just starting to explore your passions or returning to something that once lit you up, remember. You're allowed to evolve. You're allowed to take your time. You're allowed to build a life that fits you, not just one that looks impressive from the outside. Ikigai is not a destination. It's how you walk the path. So, take that first step. Find what moves you, even quietly. And start living your life with a little more purpose, today. Thank you for watching this video from Books Arena. If this breakdown of Ikigai gave you something to think about or something to feel, consider sharing it with someone who might need the same. And if you haven't already, subscribe for more thoughtful dives into books that inspire, challenge, and empower. Until next time. Keep reading. Keep reflecting. And keep moving toward your own Ikigai.